Screams of protest from the ignorant always entertain me. It's Dr. Toker, your friendly neighborhood colorectal surgeon. And do you remember during the last 4 years when people were suggesting a compound called ivermectin as an antiviral? Oh, it's horse medicine. Oh. Now, these are ignorant pleas of protest because they don't know what ivermectin is. Ivermectin had won a Nobel Prize based on its antiviral properties. Now, also, what you don't know, and if this triggers you, I apologize, but this same molecule and a similar antiparasitic called Fabendazole have been studied for probably the last 7 years now in the world of cancer. Both ivermectin and Fabendazole, yes, originally antiparasitic drugs, and yes, are both used in human and veterinary medicine. Don't let that confuse you. These drugs work against parasites in the same way they work against viruses and cancers. They shut down certain parts of the machine work intracellularly. They interfere with glucose metabolism and the mitochondria. They cause what's called apoptosis, which is cells to rupture under certain conditions. They interrupt with something called microtubules, which are responsible for cellular replication. Things that replicate rapidly can't replicate in the presence of these two compounds. The first one is Fabendazole, and this is in the Journal of Anti-Cancer Research. Basically talks about the mechanisms of Fabendazole in cancer treatment. Now, the studies that have been done thus far combine traditional chemotherapy with Fabendazole. And this was done based on a case study. There was a gentleman with stage 4 small cell cancer who was told by a veterinarian to try Fabendazole because there had been animal trials where Fabendazole seemed to cure cancer. He's dying, he's got stage 4 cancer. He was told he had 2 or 3 months to live. He was in a trial. He's the only one in that trial who survived. And the only thing that he did differently was add Fabendazole. This sparked further study and then clinical trials and human research. And true enough, it does improve treatment outcomes. If you combine chemotherapy and Fabendazole in the same patient, it tends to improve cancer outcomes. Now, to my knowledge, this is still in trials. So if you are experiencing cancer, this would be something to bring up with your oncologist. Is there a trial involved? Now, Fabendazole can be purchased over the counter. I just don't know if it's the proper dosage, and I don't know if that's what that individual was particularly taking. I highly suggest you find a trial that adds Fabendazole to the chemotherapeutics. Ivermectin, also Nobel Prize winning compound, by the way, because it functions as an antiparasitic, an antiviral, and it has anti-neoplastic properties. And they can use that for breast cancer, GI tract cancers, bladder cancers, blood cancers, ovarian cancers, brain cancers, lung cancers, melanoma. So across the board, because of the way it works in interrupting DNA replication, interrupting mitochondria, and causing sudden cell death under certain circumstances, these compounds get over the fact that we also use them in veterinary medicine, because this just in, ibuprofen is used in veterinary medicine, your antibiotics are used in veterinary medicine, your seizure medicines, your blood pressure medicines, your diabetic medicines, they are used in both animals and people. So I want you to get over that's an animal medicine, so it's not for people. I'm not suggesting you use an animal dose. I'm suggesting you use a human dose. Be part of a trial if you or a loved one has stage 4 cancer. This is your right to try something when we don't think anything else will. And because of your right to try something, and because of these clinical trials, I'm bringing it up because it is something that, even though this is published in the National Library of Medicine, which is part of the National Institute of Health, NIH, you will never see it advertised in the NIH, even though it is present in their own Library of Medicine. And that's why I wanted to bring it up. Always look deep to the surface because the answer therein lies.